it's 6 o'clock and we're calling the meeting to order. Do we have any changes to the agenda as it's printed?
No.
Oh, sorry, roll call, it's on here. That's different than it usually is. All right, thank you. I didn't list out everybody, so I need to get the list. All right, so Kayla is not here. Fred? Here. Nora?
Here.
Kyle?
Here.
Dusty?
Here.
Melissa is not here, and I am Patrick, and I am here. We need a motion to excuse Kayla and Melissa.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Now, are there any changes to the agenda?
No.
Nope. Okay. Move to adopt the agenda.
So moved.
Each second.
In a second? Yep. Yes.
Second.
The minutes from the main meeting. Any changes? Anything? All right. Somebody to move to approve the minutes from May?
I move that we approve the minutes from last meeting.
Okay,
A second.
wonderful. All right, public comments.
I'm going to read Pam's stuff just so it's in the record. We'll also attach it as meeting minutes. I'm just going to start from the tomorrow she says, I'll stay at home and make a few quick comments for tomorrow evening's meeting, tomorrow evening's public meeting record. Under item D, public comments. Number 1, I'd like to request that when an acronym is used on the meeting agenda or elsewhere in your documents, that it also be fully identified for the record following its first use. Hence, item F1 under discussion/action items on this evening's agenda, the term FKHC would be listed as FKHC, in parentheses, Friends of Kalamazoo's Historic Cemeteries. Close parentheses. You can also do it the other way around by using the full title first and then adding the acronym following it. Thank you for considering this request. 2. On that same above-mentioned agenda item, F1, under discussion/action items, the Friends of the Kalamazoo Historic Cemeteries request for direct-to-gift / mini grant, I'd like to make a few comments from my perspective as the primary author of the subject grant program and co-founder of the fund. 2A. Although this request got off to a slightly discombobulated start, the end result in the document prepared for the meeting, along with what I expect will be a 3-minute presentation from Gary Swain, represents what I believe is a well-prepared proposal for a great project which meets the criteria, and which I hope you will all support. 2B. Although it is not mentioned anywhere in the documentation, if the proposal is approved, it provides a great vehicle for sharing information about the KHBC and what it does. The good work it supports, and the role the O'Connor Fund plays in making it happen, which in turn has the potential to draw in new grant applications and donors alike. And so, although it is not currently required, I hope you will discuss this point with Gary at this evening's meeting and request that the FKHC consider helping the KHPC, head shake added by reader, spread the word about its work and the fund by indicating the project is supported by the Kalamazoo Historic Preservation Commission's O'Connor Fund Mini Grant Program. In all of its spoken and printed materials related to carrying out and completing the work described in the grant proposal, including promotional, registration, press releases, media interviews, signage, etc. Asking your grant partners to do this on your behalf is one of the best ways we have to help get the word out, so I hope the FKHC will agree to assist the KHPC in this way. Luis, will you please acknowledge you've received this message and that it will be included for the record for tomorrow night's meeting? Thank you. Yes, Pam. reading it now, and I did email her back. Thanks for listening and have a good meeting. Thanks, Pam. So this entire correspondence will be included in the meeting minutes as well, but I just wanted to read it for the record as well and for folks watching at home. Couple points to address on that, and we discussed this offline. We discussed with Pam that per the rules, Gary, you do not need to make a 3-minute presentation. I already communicated that with you, I already communicated that with Dusty, and I already communicated that with Pam, but I just wanted to read what Pam communicated with us. So there's that, and that's all for public comments that I have, at least.
And, okay.
Are we allowed to address anything in there, or is that for like?
Public comments is not an opportunity. I mean,
Okay, thank you.
it's not an opportunity, I guess, for back and forth. If you have something that you wish to say about it, you could, I guess, yes.
I will wait for the end.
Okay.
Okay, on to the financial report.
The financial report. Don't know if you guys have questions. Confusing for sure to read because we're having this like money that's buffering the $20,000, the $24,000 that's in there makes it really confusing for us to be able to read. In my opinion, it's just my opinion. But we spent to date $1,863. It looks like.
Did we pay KNAC
Which time?
for the awards of merit?
Doesn't look like it. Took a while for the last one, so I don't see it drawn out
I do
yet.
see a 518 Historic Preservation Awards, Crawl Space Theater.
Oh, well, maybe we did then. You're reading it better than I am.
Expenditure 42144.
Okay.
Okay.
This may be discussed elsewhere. Could you refresh my memory on what the last two lines of the preservation checks are, the 155 and 420? It says, what does it say? I understand the first three lines. I wasn't sure about the second two. It doesn't really give a description of check of those two amounts.
I was thinking that 155 might have been your registration because you didn't have to pay the one day you presented.
They told me that it came out from somewhere else. I'm guessing that that's Kayla's.
Oh. But there were only me,
So-
Dusty.
So I'm guessing that's what the 420 is because there's two charges for 210 right above it. So I'm guessing that they just got lumped together.
Thank you.
Any other questions on the financial report? No. Okay, O'Connor Fund report.
Trust that everyone had an opportunity to read this. Pam is not here to speak to it. I'm sure that she's watching at home. Does anyone have any questions? It's good to see that our fund overall is up over $700,000 now, and note Pam made a very convenient note that in the past month, the overall combined assets have increased in value by $42,970.03. So that is a substantial gain, and that's very good to see.
Any questions on this? Okay. And the Preservation Month report.
Yeah, so at the bottom of the report, it just gives a bit of information to kind of close out on this subcommittee's work for this year. We had our Awards of Merit ceremony last month at the end of May, which is Preservation Month, and it was very well attended, and I think our 2 award winners felt very celebrated, and it was a great night. So we feel very successful in the subcommittee. But if you have any questions, let us know. But otherwise, thanks for attending and supporting the event.
Did you figure out if you had that reservation correct?
No. Never. I mean, I know that I had that right. Trying to pull up. For the financial reports, I'm sure you guys are like, why don't you just expand those columns, man, and let us see what's behind the curtain? But the columns are really just that big. I don't know how to make them bigger. Makes me feel a little bit silly. But I'm trying to figure out exactly what those expenditures were, because the check number is the same for all of them, which is bizarre. Sorry, this is off topic of.
Well, they might have been individual invoices per person, and then they just paid in one lump check, but that's my guess.
No good at that. Figure it out later. It's not worth it right now. I think that the Preservation Awards of Merit were a rousing success, so congratulations to everyone that was on that subcommittee for putting together something. I think Nora is underselling it right now. I think we had about 40 people in attendance, right? Give or take. Does that sound about right to folks? Which is certainly the biggest group that I've had, and I think after talking to Sharon, it sounds like the biggest group that Sharon had seen in a while. I don't want to say that she ever had, but in a while, which is really saying something, in my opinion. Sharon being here for 20 years, so in 25 years, this is probably one of the biggest groups that we've had at the Preservation Awards of Merit, which I think is just wonderful. We had 2 really strong awardees this year as well. We had new awards that were designed and printed off this year, which I think was really neat. So this is ushering in a new age for the actual awards that we give out to folks. There was decorations this year because God knows in years past. So I think it is the beginning of a new age for the Preservation Awards of Merit. Just having that many people alone is really great, and that's a great way to cap Preservation Month. So again, kudos to all the work that those on the subcommittee did. The video for the Preservation awardees was just posted onto YouTube yesterday. I think it's just on the City of Kalamazoo's YouTube page, so if folks want to see it, feel free to go on there and you can hear and watch the videos that we made with Lynn and Blair. So
I did already have someone ask about when they would be posted online, so that is good to know. Will they also be on the award web page of the city where it has the past years?
I don't know. Are past years linked back? Okay, I will send a message right now to have us do that as well. Okay. It's not done, but we'll get it done. So, yeah, I thought that it was very, very, very successful. We had a little bit of a bumpy start, but it worked out in the end. You guys are like done for this year, but now it's just you just start for next year. That's the thing. So, do it all over again, and I'm sure that we'll continue to make it more and more successful.
I will share that Pam also suggested that we maybe make a contact list of people to invite specifically, like especially the city commissioners and any elected officials, which I know have attended in the past, but we didn't have any this time. So something to consider, and we can talk about that more in the subcommittee. But
Okay. I see we have a cemetery committee report in the packet, but it is not on the list of reports.
1 second. One more second, please.
It's kind of a footnote report, just like, hey, I am actually still working on things. I've just been a little distracted. And I apologize for that. But I should have some deliverables by the next meeting.
There's the report.
Okay.
I don't know why I lumped it there, so apologies.
All right. On to discussion/action items. The Friends of Kalamazoo Historic Cemeteries mini grant proposal.
All right. Well, let me just pull up the rules since this is the first time we're ever doing it, so we can all get reacquainted, right? So, we have given grants before, but now we are looking at a micro grant, mini grant. I think that's what they want us to call them. This is not a gift. We need to change all instances of the word there. So we have already gone through part of this process, right, where Gary Swain is with us this evening from FKHC. Gary came last month, which is May, and gave a 3-minute, or he gave a presentation, I don't know exactly how long it was, to the Historic Preservation Commission, the KHPC. Following that presentation, a KHPC member agreed to work on the application. Dusty, that was you, with Gary. The application has 6 stipulations that need to be met. I'm not gonna read those because I think you guys, unless you guys want me to read them. A lot of head shakes. Enough reading from Luis this evening. So afterwards, the applicant's written proposal must be presented at the next regular meeting of the KHPC in order to be considered and must be submitted to the HP coordinator in time to be included in the meeting packet so that the KHPC members can review prior to the meeting. If the proposal is not presented the following month, it will not be considered at a later date unless the scheduled meeting is canceled, in which case the proposal may be placed on the next regular meeting agenda. So that's where we are right now. Following, if a majority of the KHPC members at that meeting agree the proposal meets the criteria, they will hold a vote in favor of making a gift. If there's no majority agreement that the criteria have been met, the proposal will not be considered further in that fiscal year. So we are now at the portion of the meeting where we will kind of review the materials that were submitted in the form of a memo by Dusty and Gary for the Friends of Kalamazoo Historic Cemeteries mini grant. Now we'll pass it over to Dusty. I trust that everyone has read the memo. Lots of nods, which is good. Just pass it over to you.
I am a little unclear what I need to do stepping forward at this moment. We have the memo, we've reviewed it. Am I asking for questions or voting? Voting would be the chair, correct?
No.
You can ask for questions and make any comment that you might have about this at this time.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a lot of power.
It is.
Yeah.
I did want to say that I do believe in the text of the memo that we addressed one of the concerns that were expressed in public comments. A lot of what the Friends of Kalamazoo Historic Cemeteries is doing is constantly talking with the public and advancing in knowledge and boosting the signal about what they're working on. So I do, that's a big part of their foundation. I just want to kind of point that out. Does anyone have any questions about what's in the memo? For the I guess, for the public, the memo does also link to our preservation standards and preservation briefs that talk about what kind of work is being done in the cemetery. So we are following those, I guess I could say federal, definitely government regulations and guidelines on how that works. So again, it's best practice is being followed.
Are there any questions? Okay, so I think the next thing we need is a motion to award the mini grant. Am I correct there?
Sounds right to me.
Yep.
And am I correct in, I know we have a quorum here, but I am allowed to be part of that vote?
That was a question that I was not sure on.
You have that question, huh?
Yes.
I do not see anything saying that my vote would not be allowed.
What were your thoughts, Patrick?
My thoughts were, if the commissioner that brings it should abstain from the vote. However, I don't want to be in a situation where we don't have enough to vote on this. And we don't have any stipulations about that.
So my concern, and I am far be me from a lawyer, I don't see why this would constitute ground for abstention from the vote, because simply by writing this, it's obvious that this person is in support of it.
Correct.
Dusty will not necessarily gain anything from this, and she does not have a vested monetary interest in doing this. She might have a public interest or a educational interest in receiving the funds, but she's not going to make money on this that I know of. Okay, so I think that since we are asking someone to be a sponsor each time, that effectively cuts us down if we were to make them abstain from the vote in a way that I don't. I guess that's my concern.
Yeah.
Would be, what's the point of that, right? They already have tacit support of this by helping to write it, so I think it's okay. Furthermore, as Dusty said, and you've echoed, there's nothing that is in our policy at this point that says there needs to be an abstention from the vote. Does anyone else have questions about this? Thoughts, jokes? Yeah, barbs, good-natured or ill-natured quips.
I'm glad we're questioning the details, since it sounds like we're rewriting it anyway as it moves process and naming. So if we need to change anything, we should consider all these things. But.
Yes. I've not.
Especially since we're not changing our quorum from the sounds of it, even though we discussed that.
Yes, it's not off the table. I don't think that our concern, though, should be that this is something that stands in the way of quorum. So that would be what makes, that we're looking to remove the question of abstention because it gets in the way of us having quorum. I think that those are apples and oranges questions. I can pull it up in Robert's Rules right now if we want to look at what constitutes someone abstaining. You're not allowed to abstain just because you don't want to vote on something, which is not the case here. And it is up to the person to abstain, just underneath regular Robert's Rules of Order. Again, we set it up so the commissioner needs to support this.
Correct.
I mean, theoretically, Dusty could still vote no. There's nothing stopping the person that brings it forward from voting no. So I don't, those are my thoughts.
I'm okay with each commissioner voting. I'm okay with not an abstention here. I'm okay with that. Yeah,
I appreciate the discussion.
yeah.
And even if Dusty wasn't to vote, the way that it is written says, following if a majority of the KHBC members at that meeting agree. So you don't even have to vote, as long as a majority of the people here
Yeah,
were to,
yeah,
the way that that's written
sure,
will be rewritten as well.
yes. Okay.
Do we need to discuss the public comment about placing verbiage about events and projects having the text of supported by the Kalamazoo Historic Preservation Committee mini grant program? Is that a side discussion after the vote, or do we need to discuss that beforehand?
I'll have you discuss that with Kyle right now, because you made very good points in your response email.
Yes, for the public, we did have a slight email discussion about this. Commissioner Kyle?
I mean, we can't hold them to a standard that wasn't yet established, is my feeling on the matter. If we're going to change the rules, then we can change the rules, but they did not exist at the time of the application, so.
I mean, I think it's good business, and I would trust the Friends to,
Yeah, we can still make the request, but it
Yeah.
cannot be a requirement in my mind.
these mics are a little contrary tonight. Thank you for that.
We're building the plane as we're flying it. I don't think that that's a secret to anyone. There was not, just to be picky with semantics here, there's not a discussion amongst commissioners via email. There was one email that was sent without replies sent back from Kyle saying that I think you were echoing the things that we do on our grant making committee. And we have a grant agreement. You're our guinea pig right now, Gary, so you got to recognize that you are our guinea pig. This is the first time that we've gone through this process and made this kind of progress with this process. I anticipate that in the future, after this one, those of you that are involved with this program are going to get an email from Pam, I anticipate, and there's going to be some revisions. What I would encourage is that there is something that is set up that is akin to what we have with the grant making program, that there's a gift agreement that is stipulated then, or a micro grant. It's going to be a hard habit to break, that there's some sort of micro grant agreement that says all of the things that kind of Kyle alluded to. What that says pretty much, and Gary, we can discuss this, as Kyle also said, in my opinion, you're not beholden to any of this, but if you want to discuss it, we would enjoy that. Saying anytime you talk about any of this stuff, we would want you to mention us essentially and say that I think it's pretty basic language made possible with the generous support or whatever. I'm spitballing the language there, but of the Historic Preservation Commission.
And of course, considering their first event is later this month, they may already have materials printed and whatnot, so. We, of course, have to keep that in mind for our own expectations as well.
Yes. I have no expectations, so personally, mine are low, but that is something that we'll address for the future.
Thank you for clarifying.
Okay, so we need a motion to award this mini grant.
I'd be very careful about the wording of the motion.
And yes, word this very carefully, whomever does this.
In it, I would want to have the word mini grant probably.
The amount,
Yeah, oh, yes.
whomever is receiving the mini grant.
You're reading my mind right now, man.
Yep. Is there anything else?
I would probably also include for the uses stipulated in the application.
There you go.
I'll take a swing.
Take a swing.
I move that the KHPC, the Kalamazoo Historic Preservation Commission, votes on your awards. Well, we will be voting to award.
Awards, but we also need to stipulate where the money's coming from.
Building it as it's flying, it's okay.
Yeah.
Is that one or two?
You can make the motion, and then we can also clean it up afterwards. It's not an issue.
I think it's 01. It's the agency account.
Okay. I move that the KHPC award $5,000 as requested in the application to the Friends of Kalamazoo Historic Cemeteries from the O'Connor Fund,
I'm finished, and then we'll clean it up after. Yep.
Agency Fund 1,
Okay?
held at the Kalamazoo Community Foundation.
Yep.
To be used for the purposes listed in the application
Okay.
during this subsequent year of award, or?
Okay. Motion is on the floor. Does
Did we
anyone
cover it?
have any discussion, or does anyone have any amendments that they'd make, or changes that they'd like to request of the motion?
Can we clarify the amount?
Yes.
Was it not $5,000?
I mean, that would be amazing, but that was not what was in the,
I thought that's what the initial ask was for.
No.
no. The current ask is for 2,500. I do not think we can just change that
No.
as much as it would make me happy to promote that.
There is specific verbiage to amend a motion.
Someone could just say that they wanted to change the amount and then ask the person that made the motion for essentially consent to do it, is the way that I understand it. I can go back and look.
What, do I need to make a motion to amend the motion?
No, you just need to ask Kyle if he's willing to amend
Oh,
his
okay.
motion to.
Commissioner Hibbard, are you willing to amend your motion to alter that amount?
Yes, that was my mistake.
It was a very nice one.
Okay, we'll need a second on the amended motion.
I'll second the amended motion.
And then we will need a roll call vote. And we'll start with Fred.
Yes.
Kyle?
Yes.
Nora?
Yes.
Dusty?
Yep.
And I am a yes as well.
Very good. You're the inaugural recipient of the mini grant program from the Kalamazoo Historic Preservation Commission. We will be in touch either by the end of this week or early next week to kind of talk about what next steps look like for that, because I don't know what I have to do. I'll have to reach out to the Kalamazoo Community Foundation to figure out what that's going to look like to get the money over to you, and if we need to work with the city commission to get those funds over to you. So I'll let you know once I know more about it. Yeah, congratulations on getting the grant, mini grant there.
And thank you for your work.
Yeah.
Okay, on to the coordinator's report.
Didn't include anything. I was going to talk about Preservation Month stuff, but we already talked about that. So again, wonderful job. I can't speak for you guys. If you guys want to do that again next year, that'd be wonderful. If you don't want to do that again next year, you don't have to, obviously, but the bar is high now, right? I don't know if anyone went up to the last Public History Roundtable. I don't know if you went or up to the last Public History Roundtable. I didn't make it either. I wish I would have. And Kayla's out of town, so I don't think she was able to either. A joint meeting between the Grand Rapids Public History Roundtable and the Kalamazoo Public History Roundtable.
I was there.
Oh, you did make it?
Yeah.
Oh, tell us a little bit about it.
Well, like you said, it was Grand Rapids and Kalamazoo's roundtable and the Gun Lake Tribe, and it was great to meet people that kind of quickly everybody introduced themselves, which seems to be what's done at each roundtable, and then met with people from Grand Rapids, and it was a networking thing.
Yeah.
Pretty much. What I thought was interesting was the archivist from the Larry Bell Foundation Library, where Food Dance used to be, Crystal Burnett, was there, and it was interesting talking to her about what they are doing, and she's cataloging and getting that squared, ready to go. Taking in the Larry Massey volumes of books, I think she said was quite a challenge, getting them cataloged and the author knew right where everything was at, but didn't necessarily follow the Dewey Decimal System in his books and stuff. So her job was to coordinate that with that kind of a research genre, I guess. That's what I thought was pretty cool.
Awesome.
An archivist from the Grand Rapids Public Museum. Megan Daniels was there.
Awesome. Well, thank you. I wish I could have made it, but it was a tight squeeze for me. Now that it's passed, great job, Dusty and Gary as well on this application, right? So I kind of wrote a book back to Dusty after the first iteration of the memo came in, and I think the second version of the memo came back very nicely. So kudos to you on getting that through, and kudos to both you for working through our program here. I'm glad that we got this off the ground finally. Hopefully we can get it smoother in the future. Now, I know what the process is. That's great, right? So we look forward to hopefully getting some more of these in as well. I think that's really all that I have on my end.
Okay. Commissioner comments.
I really want to thank you, Louis, for helping us with that application process. And I really feel like Gary has set a gold standard for our future requests. I'm really impressed by how much work he put into that, how much documentation. And it's very exciting that we're having this work done on behalf of our city. So it's a win all around. I did want to mention again that we have the Association of Gravestone Studies coming to town in 2 weeks, roughly. For those who don't know what that is, it means people from across the country are coming to Grand Rapids to talk about cemeteries. They will be coming through Kalamazoo on the 24th. So all kind of ties in together, right? Gary and his group are working on Mountain Home. We're going to have people from around the country visiting that cemetery. I think that's pretty exciting. So, and the city's working great with us with that. So thank you again to the City of Kalamazoo for making that, just being so helpful. It's been a great process, a great experience. And I apologize for not making the award ceremony. I was wicked sick. I'm a delicate flower when I get a cold, so I felt really, a week later, I was like, oh, something happened last week when I was not okay. So I apologize for not making that, but it sounds like it was great. I think that's all I have. Actually, since I am talking, there is a cleaning coming up on what date is that, Gary? Next Saturday over in Riverside. So there will be a cleaning event there. There's information on Facebook if you go to the Friends of Historic Kalamazoo Cemeteries. I have that backwards. But yeah, so there is constant work all summer.
Anything else before we adjourn? All right, it's 6:38.